there's no losing in this situation. This isn't a, if you mess up one day, you start over. There's a lot of grace that I want to be given in this time, because the whole focus of this is to deal with like the emotional healing of things. So today is the first official day of 75 Love, and I've been tweaking and working towards this for the past few weeks, because I started this as I will do 75 hard, and then I realized that that didn't feel aligned for me, and that I needed to approach this differently, and that as somebody who has a history of disordered eating and trying all the diets and doing all the things, I obviously have a wellness channel for a reason, that I really wanted this time to be a bit more intentional and a bit more mental health focused, and something that would just serve me long run, and that wasn't necessarily like a challenge for me, because I've done the challenges. I've proved that I can do the challenges. I know that I can pick the thing and do it for forever. I was plant-based for years. I was very strictly paleo-based for years. I can do all of the things. I have no issues with doing all of the things. But that desire, that like space that came from in my body has kind of evaporated in the last few years, and my approach has been a lot different, and it's a lot more slow, and it's a lot more intentional, and it's a lot more not doing things as a way to like run away from stuff and like actually dealing with my shit. So welcome to 75 Love. I wanted to start my morning with setting some intentions though, because I think that when you do these kinds of challenges, or when you set these kind of intentional times for yourself, that it's really helpful to have some kind of way to define change and to know how things have gone for you, if things are going the way that you want them to, maybe if you need to tweak some things, maybe if you need to ask for help with some things, if you need to do things differently. It's just a bit easier when you have a guide. So I've done a full blog post on the rules and kind of how I'm laying this out for myself, so I will link that down below so I don't talk at you for like an hour. But the way that I'm defining this for me is that I want to do progress check-ins. Of course, I don't know that I want to get on the scale until like latter. I want to give myself the first few weeks of just really being in the mental and emotional work of things, and then letting my body heal. I don't want to jump too quickly ahead mentally, because I'm not giving my body the time that actually needs to heal, because a big part of this for me is balancing my hormones. So that means going to bed earlier. That means actually waking up later and trying to really get my cortisol levels down, focusing on having a better fasting window, not really snacking, just eating in a way that aligns with me. And I will do a what I eat in a day later. I don't want this to be a triggering video for anybody. You know, define what works for you in your eating style and how that kind of serves you. So I'm going to do weekly wellness check-ins. I do have like a vitamin P test kind of thing, and I forgot to do it this morning, so I'll do it first thing tomorrow morning. I probably would have wanted to do the Everlywell Women's Health test again to really give myself that indicator for now until the end, but I forgot about it, and that's perfectly fine. So I might do that again towards the end of the 75 days. I'm going to do measurements, I'm going to do photos, I'm going to do videos, just to give myself a sense of how my body is shifting and healing. I know where I carry hormonal weight on my body, so I'm curious to see how that goes. I also really want to be very intentional about getting my water intake in. That is key for me. I'm setting a savings goal for myself, because part of this time for me is wanting to feel more supported financially in my business, in my personal life. And so that's something that I'm setting for myself. I have a weight, I don't want to say goal, but I'm curious to see kind of if I can remove some of the limiting beliefs that would allow me to weigh a certain amount. And then my mental focus for this is to really just shift my mindset around my body and kind of how I perceive it and what it looks like and the energy that I'm putting out in a room, and just dealing with some of that trauma and really taking the time to kind of do it in a way that I can go forward and there's not a resentful energy. I think it's totally valid for everybody who has seen pretty privilege and skinny privilege and any of those spaces. But I want to be able to lead with love and have conversations and kind of change that tone in a way that just helps people heal and isn't so aggressive coming from myself. So I really want to focus on that. But I do have plans to work out in like an hour this morning, and I'm excited to go for a run. But I think I have high hopes in the next 75 days because really there's no losing in this situation. This isn't a, if you mess up one day, you start over. There's a lot of grace that I want to be given in this time because the whole focus of this is to deal with like the emotional healing of things. So I want to give myself that space to kind of start over and to know that I'm not failing and that it's just like, it's not that like diet mentality of you messing up and it just throwing everything out the window. So the next 75 days are really about just healing and choosing to love yourself more deeply and in a way that maybe you haven't experienced before, you haven't allowed yourself, and to help you clear your past or help me clear my past, but you, if you're choosing to do this as well, I just want it to be about healing. I know that more than anything that so many of us are in a lot of pain, and there are a lot of things that we're really grateful that social media has brought to the surface, and there are a lot of conversations that we're getting to have with ourselves and getting to set new boundaries and getting to do new things and read and learn and do all that stuff. But yeah, for me, this is going to be very much about taking the time to heal. So before we go into the rest of the day, I will say I'm going to try to use videos once a week, but if you want more like daily updates, come follow me on Instagram and TikTok because I'm uploading random things on both of those things. I'm getting into TikTok. I also do weekly newsletters. So if you want the like motivational, energetic, just mindset side of stuff, be sure to subscribe to that. But it's gonna be a good day. Today is my like weekly single gal solo date day, which is gonna involve me going and buying some really nice groceries and taking myself to lunch. But first we're gonna go work out, and I had to phone a friend for this one because I've been procrastinating it. So that's been something that I've been really leaning into recently. It's just asking for help when I need it and trying to like make things more simple when I'm overthinking the situation. So I'm gonna finish journaling now that I've set my intentions, gonna release some things in the day, gonna continue to write some of my affirmations, and we're gonna make the next 75 days the most epic experience. From editing room Savannah because we had a corrupt file situation. But one of the things that I really leaned into 2018, 2019 and lost track of along the way was meal planning. And it's something that I really like to do, and making sure that I'm finding meals that feel exciting to me, that I'm seeing a balance of what I'm eating, that I'm keeping myself engaged with what I'm eating. And I just find I'm the most supported in the way that I'm eating when I'm intentional about it. So I did meal plan for this week, which was phenomenal. I love that. A lot of times I'll meal plan for a week with a few gaps in there, knowing that I'm probably going to have some unexpected meals I might want to order out, or I might just have a really, really lazy dinner and it's like super simple and comes with whatever basics I normally keep on hand. But to save time and to make sure that I'm getting everything that I want, I like to pre-plan and pre-order what I'm going to get. So I'll go ahead and place like an Instacart order and a Whole Foods order, which are the two things that I did this week specifically because I really want to make a lasagna, as well as I wanted some kite-tail Greek yogurt, and for whatever reason, Whole Foods is the only place that has them. So that is what we're off to do next, along with my weekly solo date.